I'd love to capture you all on here.
So congratulations, Sharon. MC1 again, Growth Summit qualified. I know it's unofficial right now. We have to hear from corporate, and it's really
Right.
after the pay, after the 15th of June, that they would confirm that that would happen. But really excited for you and what you're doing in just, I think, 2 years with LifeVantage, and
Yeah.
working full time and owning a full time business.
Yeah. Yeah. Jennifer and I, we're there in the business sometimes and we're like, oh my gosh, because there's a lot of meetings, thank God, because it just shows the level of support that's there for LifeVantage for its community. And that's incredible. Hi, Rosa, you made it on. That's incredible. And so it's heartwarming to see that and to feel that. And even just you guys sort of popping on here as a surprise is such a pleasure. And I thank you so much. So I started to say I've always been a rebel at heart, but not rebel in the sense of have to go against the grain only, but more like asking questions. Why is this that way? Why are we doing it this way? And so I was telling you that the clinic that I own is a testament to this, that I felt, I'm a nurse practitioner, I'm board certified, and practicing in the traditional sense, I felt like I was just going along. I was plodding along and I was doing the things and I was following the guidelines as best I could. Um, and then, it occurred to me that, well, people really aren't getting any better. In fact, they're getting worse. Okay. And so I felt a huge weight on my shoulder to be better, to do different. And that started the whole process of learning. I mean, I had to go and relearn everything. Thank God I had my background as a family nurse practitioner because that provided the foundation to build on to where I am now, to understand the science and see the beauty behind what's happening here. But I feel like this is a movement. I really do. And so, Marisa, you said you saw a shift in me, and that was when I heard Dr. Brett Brimhall say, I can affect in my clinic one person at a time, which is what I'm doing. And I'm there from freaking dusk till dawn. Well, not dusk, I'll never start at dusk, but I'm there so many hours affecting so many lives, and still I don't feel that it's enough. And when I heard him say, I can do it that way and affect one by one, or I can tell 10 people to go and have such a further reach, that was huge for me because I thought to myself, oh my God, he's absolutely right. Because if I'm on this mission and I feel by myself, you know, doing the work and doing the thing and in my own clinic, here is the same message of building back our health states, of getting back our states. The only way we're going to do it, in my head, I thought to myself, the only way this is going to happen is if we take it back. When do you ever see, like, I think the other day also, I saw a commercial that had death as a potential adverse effect. I don't remember what medication it was, but it was the strangest thing. May cause, this, may cause that. And I saw death and I said, okay, well, we're moving in a very strange way. I have to try and find what medication that was. But here we have a line of products that doctors, that practitioners of all walks of life are, with so much education and experience in their own fields, saying this is what we're seeing. It's time to listen. It's time to listen, not only listen, but to take it seriously because we need this. And the only way our health state's going to change is if we actually take back what is ours rather than depending on something that is external to us to lead us into where we all think that we're going, except we're just walking in place. And so that's what changed inside of me, Marisa, is I felt, you know what? It's time. Like I'm just a regular lady here, okay? I don't see myself as a leader. I don't. But it's time to kind of pick up some kind of baton and help people figure out that let's do this. And this is a sustainable way to get your health back.
Awesome, awesome, Sharon. You are a leader, and that's something that your leaders above here, they're going to share a little bit as well about you and what they see in you. But also, I think knowing that we all started at ground zero, most everybody on this Zoom had never done network marketing experience. So I want you to introduce your new people that are on right now, and then we will start with our presidential leader, Pam Gordon, to talk. But I know we have Mickey and Rosa and Jennifer on here, and this was meant to be like a Zoom where we connect with the new team. And then I'm like, I need our whole team to see this amazing new team on fire. So anyway, go ahead and introduce your new people, Sharon.
So, yes, thank you, Marisa. I would like to introduce Jennifer, and Jennifer Zani she works with me. She's my assistant in my office. So she sees me in the grind. She hears my passion. She knows what my burdens are and how I get so emotional to the point of tears because I care so much about my clients. And I will not, I'm not of the mindset to abandon people. But anyway, Jennifer has been a consultant for, I think
A year.
how long?
A year.
A year. But she was really, sliding along using the products. And we went to convention, and I'll let her tell her story, but she got fired up because of something that she saw. And she said, "Oh my God, I had no idea it entailed all of this." Go ahead, Jennifer.
So yes, I've been taking the products for about a year and working with Sharon. I learned a lot. She's very passionate, and I know the products work. And just our busy life going along. And so I went to convention, and I was very impressed with the Amish people. I think that just kind of opened my eyes because I'm like, the less resources they have, and look where they're at. And here we have it at our fingertips. Social media. Um, Phones, computers, whatever, however we need to spread the word. And it's just education and stuff like that. So that really, I think, sparked me because I figured, well, they can really do it with limited resources to a degree. I'm sure they have help, but that kind of got me going. And then understanding more about the product and listening to the speakers up there and what this really does and hearing their stories have really inspired me to know from health stage of, I forget who was talking, and his wife had 14 different pharmaceuticals, went to no medications after being on the products for 3 years. So that's kind of inspiring. So I like to get people, I talk to a lot of people about that. I have a friend in town right now. That's why Sharon, I wanted you to send me that spine. He's ex-military. He lives in Pittsburgh, and he's got some health issues. And I said, I have a product for you.
So this woman has had 5 enrollments this month. Jennifer has 3 consultants. So, and one of them is Angie, who's on here right now.
She just put her.
So I don't know if Angie, I know you're driving, I want you to be safe, but if you're at some point in time able to share something, because she's a little firecracker.
Yes.
I know that. I've
Yes.
been with her. So I'm excited for you, Jennifer and Angie, and all that you're going to be creating. Keep blessing. Okay, Sharon, keep
And
going.
so my other consultant that I'd like to introduce is Mickey Sangusa. She is a spitfire. This woman is just full of light and shine, and she too is on a very similar mission to what I'm on. And I met Mickey, and I thought, okay, I have to tell her about this because this is going to also resonate with her on the level it does with me. So, Mickey, welcome.
Thank you. Well, I'm excited to get to know all of you. And yes, I'm pretty new here, so I'm getting to know the different products and different way how to use it. I like Sharon. I work with clients as well. My background is I am a bachelor nurse, and then I did my DO degree in Canada, which didn't transfer to the U.S. I live currently here in North Carolina, and I've transitioned into functional medicine. And so we work a lot with finding the root cause, right? Like the root cause of why why people are struggling. Why are you having now high blood pressure? Why is the weight sticking around? Why all those things are happening? And so I'm excited. I'm actually very excited to see the result in the clients that I have, and as they're transitioning into the pretendum and everything that it can do. So I'm excited to be here.
Welcome, Mickey. And now I'd like to introduce Rosa. And Rosa is, she's been a consultant for probably about a year. She's super busy. She has had, corporate type, opportunities, and now she's her entrepreneur. And so Rosa sees the benefits of this product. Rosa, like myself, we live this lifestyle, and she knew about this product before, but I will let her tell you her story rather than speak for her.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I was introduced to Pro Tandem in 2016 when I did my first pro athlete bodybuilding show, and I just fell in love with it. And at that time in 2016, I was buying it at Amazon. And so then I ran out, and so I didn't have a consultant help me. And then in comes Sharon telling me about, Rosa, you have to try this amazing thing. And I was like, say no more. I got it. I will do it. So I started back again with Sharon. And then because I lived a lifestyle of wellness, because I live a lifestyle that is all about vitality, I mean, this is something that is just core in my soul. I think I was born to inspire people to get healthy. Why? Because every time I walk into a room, somebody wants to know, how do I stay healthy? How do I maintain? And so this is why I joined LifeVantage, is because I wanted to spread the word that this is a way of life, that this is a way of activating our bodies to take control again and be healthy again. So this is why I came on board. I am an entrepreneur. I own a marketing business, and I have helped a lot of LifeVantage consultants spread the message and talk about what benefits LifeVantage is from a product perspective. And I love that role. I think that one of my favorite roles, to Sharon's point, is yes, I can tell one person about LifeVantage and how wonderful it is. But if I can help LifeVantage consultants spread their word and spread their message, to me, it's like I'm helping thousands of people. So that's kind of, since I'm not licensed in the medical field, although it's something that I kind of thinking of doing, Sharon, I'll talk to you a little bit about that some other time in terms of taking a naturopathic approach. But this is how I am able to help the masses, not only spreading the word myself, but also spreading the word through LifeVantage consultants.
Thank
Wonderful.
you, Rosa. Angie, are you able to speak? No, probably not.
Well,
In
she's probably driving and it takes a
Yeah,
minute or two to slide your finger and figure out how to
yes,
activate the
yes,
mic. So feel free, Angie. I know you're driving, but if you
yes.
are able to at some point, feel free to just pop in. And well, let's go to Pam Gordon in
Yes.
Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Pam has been with LifeVantage basically since the beginning. 14 years, 15, 14, 15, something
It'll
like that.
be 15 in November.
Okay, presidential consultant when GLP-1 launched, but she is a powerhouse. She's a breast cancer warrior. She's a mom. She is got heart and soul into this business, into life, into all of us, and has always been there for me. And she's there for you too. So I'm just gonna, I love Pam because she hears you, she listens to you. And I think my big takeaway is that she always saw me and always stayed calm and to let you know that you can do this and you can be successful. It's almost like she always gives you this warm hug. Yeah.
Oh, oh, yeah. I remember when Marisa launched her business, she was very nervous, not knowing if she could do it, and But boy, the fact that you guys have come together as I can already tell such a powerful team that you know it's not a me business, it's a we business. And I can just tell you are relying on each other. And I tell you, locking arms with Marisa and those directly up from her, you guys, she knows what she's doing. So I'm so blessed to have all of you a part of my team. Because we know as we reach down and lift people up, we naturally, as we bless others, we're blessed. And that's what this business has been for me. Didn't plan to do network marketing at all. Like Marisa said, I had just found out I had breast cancer in October, end of October 2010, went through a bilateral mastectomy followed by reconstruction surgery in November 10. 2 weeks later, found out about Proteanum NRF2. And at the time, our business pack was 13 bottles of Proteanum and 1 bottle of True Hydrate. Think about that, 13 bottles of Proteanum. It was a 40 SV product. So we were able to hit the elite ranks in 8 months on a 40 SV product. So you're right, Sharon, when you're saying, and all of you that came on saying, Rosa, and you mentioned it too, and Mika, you know, we're only one voice, but we have a powerful story. And it's our story that's going to connect with the people out there. So just continue to be real and authentic with people as to where you were, where you are, and where you want to go with this, because your story matters. But you're right. If we can get more consultants on board who are willing to share their stories, instead of having addition going on, we will have multiplication in our business. So I just continue to rally around each other, because I am so thankful. Back in November of 2010, I started on that product. Even my plastic surgeon and the nurse who knew nothing about nerve to activation at that time, and most physicians still don't know, looked at me and said, Pam, what are you doing? It's 3 weeks in and you're healing beautifully. Well, ding, ding, ding. Those people are still on product today. So that is the other beautiful part of this business, is that when people can see the validity of what we have and the benefits it has for them and bringing value to them, you have a lifelong customer. Just think about that. My business just continued to grow, but I have to say, attending those events is key. It is pivotal. And you're right, listening to the Amish speak and how they are growing their business belly to belly, eye to eye. Hello, yeah, their passion, you know. So for us to utilize all that we have, but my first event was January of 2011. Finally got to meet Maria and Carrie Williams, Carrie Dickey and Stu Brody, and realizing, oh my goodness, these are everyday people that we heard from stage. If they can do it, we can do it too. So that's what fueled us coming back to Sioux Falls. At the time I was married to a cardiologist. We started a weekly meeting here in Sioux Falls. And I have to tell you, boy, it grew like wildfire. That's how Joanne Shear Parkin came on board, who got Nikki involved, who got the Pose involved, who then got, Kevin Messerschmidt, and then Patty Connell, and Patty Connell to eventually Marisa. You know what I mean? So a little Sioux Falls, South Dakota, who it was a blimp on the radar screen, but boy, if you went to corporate back in the big day, little Sioux Falls was blinking like this. We were one of their fastest growing markets. And the only reason that was able to happen is Maria and Carrie Dickey would come back to our market month after month. Why were they willing to do that? They weren't doing it to start a fire. We already had started our fire. They were coming to stoke the flame. They invested in us because we were willing to get butts in seats. If we hadn't done our part, they would not have come to our market. So that's just so pivotal to remember, that you need to find those consultants who have a passion to share what they know and to bless a whole load of people. So I am just so thankful for each one of you, seriously, and knowing that as you succeed, you're going to just be blessing so many people. So just continue to lock arms with one another. We're never going to know it all. Even being in the business this long, I don't know it all. I don't need to know it all. But you could be a good connector of people. And that's one thing Marisa is a huge connector of people. So just continue to do you guys. Work, as Tara Wilson always says, working works. So we just all need to get to work. It sounds like
Thank
you
you.
are.
Thank you, Pam. Wow. Great nuggets there. Well, we have Sean Poe on, another presidential leader. It's Sean and Michelle. And they, you guys for the Mickey, for you and Angie and Jennifer. Well, Jennifer met Sean at Global, but he's phenomenal. Like just they broke the mold when they created the pose. God did.
So true.
And they are just such lovely human beings. They serve their parents. They're just so in love with each other and so in love with LifeVantage and so in love with helping all of us. And they never had network marketing experience. And they rose to the top of this company, you guys. And I want you to just hang on to every word you hear with Sean Poe, okay? Because he's been in this house when nobody showed up for my meeting. But he saw what I knew I was going to create. Just because someone didn't show up for a meeting didn't mean I was quitting. So take it away,
Well,
Sean.
hello, good morning. Great to see all of you. I'm just blown away at you guys are just skyrocketing, and it's super, super cool to see when people, are coachable with the business, but they have that desire to just make change. And that's kind of my biggest takeaway over the last 14 years is we've done a ton of different businesses, and I don't know anything else that could have fallen into our lap that would have had the domino effect that this has had, literally tens of thousands of people across the globe. And like Marisa said, we didn't know anything about network marketing. We didn't know anything about nutraceuticals. My wife, Michelle, she had been on a negative trajectory of health issues after our first daughter was born. It started with some tingling in the side of her face, but ended up pretty much taking control of all of her right side of her body. And when it would flare up, um, she'd have limited mobility in her arm, in her leg, affecting her vision. And it was a scary time for us. And that's actually why we moved back to South Dakota to be around her family, because the doctors, as good as Western medicine is, they couldn't identify what was going wrong with her body. We saw some of the best doctors in the world, from the Mayo Clinic to Cleveland Clinic, and they could rule out what it wasn't, but they couldn't pinpoint what it was. And so Michelle had been going down this journey already of how can she take control of her own health and be an advocate for herself when she wasn't getting answers. And that's kind of how, through Pam and Joanne and Nikki, when it came to us, Nikki knew that we were into health and helping others. She didn't know how bad Michelle was. But within 3 months, Michelle's health completely transformed. And, we still don't know exactly what was going on. We have some great ideas of what it is now. We know that she definitely had Lyme disease, and that gets misdiagnosed a lot in Western medicine. So, just that alone was a godsend to us. I remember coming home from work when we lived in Milwaukee, and Callista was a couple months old, and I'd come into the house and Michelle would just have tears streaming down her face, picturing me having to raise Callista as a single dad, not being able to see her graduate or get married and things like that. And now Callista's 20 years old. Michelle's in great health. And then on the business side, you guys, I didn't believe that you could have your hands on a multi-million dollar business for $1,000 investment. Just didn't make sense to me. My background, after graduate school, I got my security licenses. I did portfolio management for Wells Fargo and then for Citigroup. And the last 3 years I was there, I managed the defaulted student loan portfolio and all the litigation with that. And I was gone all the time. I was missing my kids growing up. I missed the first 6 months of my youngest daughter's life because I was flying back and forth from New York, living out of a hotel in Manhattan. And I wanted change, but I didn't know how to get off that hamster wheel of the corporate environment. And the longer I was there, the longer I climbed up that ladder, the more they wanted out of me. And it was a dog eat dog world in the financial industry, and it still is today.
Mhm.
But I needed something to replace that before I could just step away, having kids and house and all of those responsibilities as adults, which, my kids now are starting to experience how adulting at times isn't fun. But it truly, it was taking my soul. And I wasn't the dad I should have been. I wasn't the husband I should have been. And I'm so thankful that this allowed an opportunity that within a year, I stepped away from the corporate world and started doing this full time in January of 2012 with Michelle. And, you know, when I fast forward 14 years, I had a neck injury at the beginning of this year in the middle of January, bulging and herniated discs from C2 to C7. And I was having 24-hour a day pain levels of 8, 9, 10. It felt like I was getting electrocuted down my arm, my chest, my back, my neck. My fingers are still numb. And to be honest, I've worked maybe 3 or 4 days total this year because of that. Um, and if I was still in the corporate environment, I would have had 30 days vacation I could have used, probably lessened income with long-term disability stuff through them. But because we poured the time, the energy, and effort into this, I've been able to step back the last 5 months and really, really take control of getting my neck back to where it needs to be without going under the knife. And even just the medical connections that we have with amazing doctors and naturopathic healers, um, it allowed me to not get under the knife like they wanted me to do at the hospital the first couple weeks, and just really see how I can help the body heal itself. And I'm so thankful I had these products in my system for so long prior to this happening, because I do know that it would have been 10 times worse. The inflammation would have been worse. My body wouldn't have been able to take care of what it needed to take care of internally. And that's life changing, right? I can see how people with constant pain just give up, and that battle against just hurting all day, every day. And I'm to the point now where I would say most days the pain's down to about 2 to a 3 out of a 10, which I'm super, super thankful for. And I know that I'm going to get the rest of that way. And another huge thing for me with all of this was being able to have my kids grow up in this kind of environment where people truly care about helping other people. And that's really what this is about. How can we make people better versions of themselves? Most of the time, people come in with that hope of health. But the other two things that I don't think get talked about enough are the business side, and then also the personal development. Um, some people will never share these products that come into your business, but they'll go to everything. They'll stay connected because of the positivity and the community aspect of it. Um, it attracts amazing people. And as you continue on this journey, I can't wait for that to unfold for all of you. The connections, the relationships, the friendships, people that we truly want to travel the world with, and have examples for other people in our lives to say, this is how we should all be living. Regardless if you're in this business, not in this business, have a mission to help other people. Um, I, on the business side, I would have honestly said, if they showed me the income disclosure statements, and I don't know if you guys have seen that yet or not, but I would have said that's not possible. I had a negative connotation attached to this profession, but I had no reason for that. I'd never done it. I didn't really know people that had done it, but I had this stigma attached to it. But the more I thought about, what it truly is, um, even at Citigroup when I worked there, that was a giant pyramid structure. I was never going to make more money than my boss. I was never going to make more money than the CEO. I was at a place where I was waiting for people to either retire or go somewhere else to have an opportunity for that next raise. And people weren't there to help others have success truly, because the more you could separate yourself from everybody else, the more you were going to get paid and the higher levels you would climb. And this is the exact opposite. The more people that you can impact, the more that's going to impact the financial side for you. And just like Pam was saying, we have people that have been on these products for 14 years and will never go off. They'll never go off. Protandim NRF2 is an amazing, amazing product. My second favorite is probably collagen. I got into the trial with that and I thought it was something I'd take for 30 to 60 days. Michelle would take 10 times what she should be taking because she would follow with it and I just wouldn't. But after about the third week of doing before and afters, I was blown away on the impact that it was having on my face. The lines here, especially, were disappearing. And it truly is a great product that I think a lot of people come in for on the vanity side of aging more gracefully on the outside. But internally, what we are seeing it do for people and even mentally was mind blowing. Axio, I don't go a day without Axio. That product is incredible. The things that we've seen it do for children blows my mind all the time. And I hope each of you are in Vitality Living, our Facebook group, where you can see testimonies from other people that are taking the products. If you ever have questions on could this help X, two places to look is PubMed and oxidative stress, see how the science shows that they impact each other. But I would say on Vitality Living, it's more of those real world stories of people that are going through similar things that maybe a prospect of yours is, but you aren't. And it's going to come across much more powerful from somebody that's been helped already. Being a nutraceutical, we can't say it treats, prevents, cures, or mitigates anything. But I promise you, if we could download into your heads what we've seen over the last 14 years, it would blow you away. And I think that's the cool part of it is we have the science to back it up, but we also have the human side that people share their stories and how it's impacted them. My biggest advice is, like Pam said, don't try to be an expert in everything. How this business works best is in community, connecting other people and earn money as you learn how the different products impact people, how the compensation plan works for people. You don't have to know any of that. You're kind of just a connector to have other people be the expert, whether it's a live Zoom like this, recordings that we have thousands of recordings, you guys. And it goes from anywhere from, people that just graduated high school to people, that are medically renowned across the world. Dr. Sveta Silverman, I love her so much. Watching her travel and be able to be an advocate for these different pathways in the body with somebody with her expertise. And it's not just her, it's person after person in the medical community that we can lock arms with. Joanne, she's an amazing, amazing researcher, but just knowledge of how this impacts people. And a lot of the questions, like Pam said, we don't know the answers still today, but we know that we can connect with other people that will be able to answer those questions. So utilize the team. That was very hard for Michelle and I at first. We didn't want to bother anybody, but the reality is you're going to grow a lot faster by plugging into the tools and the resources and the team. I don't know what you're looking for out of this right now, but it can be really anything. And some people, it's a couple extra $100 a month to maybe pay for their products, but you're going to find other people that were like me trying to get replacement of full-time money. I'm blown away by your guys' team. Marisa is an amazing leader. Patty is absolutely amazing. So I know that you're in the right hands to be able to get where you want to get with this. But I would really challenge you to think bigger about it. If I could go back, that's the one thing. If I could become more bulletproof faster and just more convicted on what this could do, I think I would have dreamed a little bit bigger on what the impact this could have. We know people in this industry, that are making four or $500,000 a month. If you would have told me that, I would have said, no, that's insane. But the reality is there really is no limit on what you can do with this. It comes down to how much energy do you want to put in, and are you willing to hear some no's? And the no's are probably the hardest part of this, especially if it's family or close friends. But if you just think of it as you're educating people on something and you're giving them the option to say yes or no. And yes might not be right now. It could be a year from now, 2 years from now, but their eyes will be on what you're doing and are you staying with it? And we still, 14 years in, have friends that have never tried the product, but we also have a lot of people that over the years, they see something that really hits home for them that now they want to be a part of it. Collagen was a huge boost for us. GLP-1 was a huge boost for us. And so you never know what it is necessarily. And that's why with your database, nobody ever really goes off of it, because there's going to be new science that we have, new products that we have, that if you keep those relationships healthy and you're not just pounding LifeVantage in every conversation that you have with people, they'll be open to hearing about what's changed with the company. And I would say at least every 6 months, we have something that allows us to have new touch points with people, whether it's science or products or compensation, things like that. So dream big, you guys. This really, really can change every aspect of a person's life. And it's going to connect you with people that you just don't know. And that's the cool thing to me, is we can truly impact the world and just make the world better. So thank you for getting on today. Excited to see you guys just continue to have success. And again, don't try to be everything for everybody. Utilize the team and the specialties that each one of us have. I always laugh that my wife's rainbows and butterflies, and I'm very black and white. My expertise is more on the business side and the compensation plan, structuring, whereas my wife is really, really great at connections like Marisa, and just loving on people and being a light for people. So excited for you guys to get to know her a little bit better as well, and seeing you guys on the different team calls and Zooms that we have. So congratulations on jumping into LifeVantage. That's a risk. But I don't know another risk that you could take that has the potential that this has.
So
Thank
true.
you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Held on to every word.
Sean, I got teary-eyed there because you touched me. I remember meeting you, I think it was about 2 years ago now, you and Michelle, and you guys just struck me so deeply back then because your kindness just pours out. I mean, you're presidential leaders, but you're here, I didn't even expect you guys on, and just meeting you in person. So when you talked about your neck, I remember my back being out as well and how painful it is. I think the second time we met is when that happened. And using these products helped me a lot to in my healing process. But I think of all the other people out there, all
Mhm.
the other people who are suffering.
Yeah,
That's what gets me.
yeah,
So, and we're poised to be able to help them. So
absolutely.
that's where I am. That's where I'm sitting is, how many people can we help? If I tell Rosa, if I tell Mickey, if I tell Jennifer, and I say, hey, go tell 10 more, let's get these people activated because that's the only way we're going to survive.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I
thank you
love
for
that.
sharing that.
And truthfully, it might not even be somebody that you directly know that blows up your business. It could be somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, and all of a sudden you have a European team or you have a team over in Thailand, or just even another state, or up in Canada, we have a great Canadian team. And that's all through connections. So don't make the mistake that we made early on making decisions for other people, because we were just sharing the product with some people because we thought they wouldn't want the business side, or we shared the business side with some people because we thought that they would be super involved in the business. And honestly, it usually ended up the opposite. And when we just started to educate people on all aspects of it,
Yes.
even if it was just a small touch on the business side, allowing them that opportunity to say yes or no without us prejudging and making that decision for them, is also going to allow your business to grow a lot faster. And Sharon, it's been an absolute pleasure to see you at the different events. It's always fun to have that time to connect with you, and you're an amazing, amazing human. And I know that you're going to continue to have impacts. And as this team grows, I'm just excited to see these different leaders come in and be able to help the people that they know as well.
And now she's going to Growth Summit in
I know.
September.
That's awesome.
So cool.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Sean. Thank you
You
so
bet.
much. Appreciate all those words, and fantastic. Joanne. So Joanne was brought in by Pam Gordon and many years ago, and she is a master dietitian and nutritionist, and she is the youngest person I know in her 70s, and she and her husband Jim live a beautiful life. They travel the world, they play pickleball together, they dance together, they just do life incredibly together. So she's also smarter than most doctors I know. I'm going to just tell you when it comes to
Jeez.
biomolecular health.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for that warm introduction, Marisa. And I just want to, let's see, get my little Zoom here on my camera where I can get it enlarged here just a minute. But anyway, okay, congratulations, Sharon. And I'm just so excited to meet your team, Jennifer, Rosa, Miki. Did I leave? Oh,
Angie, we
Angie.
don't see her face because she's driving.
Yes, yes. So
She's a
anyway,
spitfire.
um, so I just a little bit about my story in that I joined LifeVantage 14 years ago in January, and actually LifeVantage came along at a time in my life as one of the probably saddest times of my life. It was the year after my husband of 32 years had passed away. You know, it was like at the 1 year mark that I looked at my bank account and retirement accounts, and you know, it was like kind of hit me, you know, like I thought I was going to be stuck in my windowless office in the hospital where I was working as a head dietitian at a cardiovascular hospital. And you know, it was interesting because it was shortly after that when I was in church. It was the first Sunday of January 2011. And something spoke to me, and I know it was God spoke to my heart and said that the best season of my life was yet to come, um, and that this was going that I had a great future. And it was just like 5 days later, Dr. Mark Gordon came to my office and introduced me to LifeVantage. I joined the company because I knew a lot about oxidative stress working at a cardiovascular hospital. I knew it was at the root cause of cardiovascular disease and 200 disease of aging. See, I knew that. And so when I learned that Protandim would lower that oxidative stress, well, I thought, well, that's a no-brainer. I'm going to take that product. And I had no intent of joining the business. But, you know, Dr. Mark said, hey, you know, it's easy, it's simple. You just get your own replicated website. You just have to educate people and they sign up and you don't ever have to handle the product. I'm like, really? Okay, I think I can do that. You know, keeping it simple. He made it so simple. Like this I could do because I was super busy because I was running my deceased husband's little real estate business. So working full time. So I had a full plate. I had rental properties. I had renters, and I had renters in 2 states. I mean, I had a full plate. But, I knew that I could not keep my lip zipped once I knew this, once I knew how this could change people's lives. So I got started, just real simple, sending the ABC primetime video out, um, and that was how I got started. And I had two products at the time, just two products in my little pack that came, Protandem and an anti-aging cream. And when I think about what we have to offer people today, in terms of the products, the business, the compensation plan that we have. And so I got started just one person at a time, a customer, consultant, and pretty soon I grew my business to where after 2 years, I was able to leave my windowless office and retire early. And so I'm 76 now. Well, not quite. I'll be 76 in 3 weeks. And I was 61 when I joined. And, a lot of people could have said, and I'm sure, like Dr. Mark could have said, Joanne, she's a widow, she's busy, things are really, and she's old. I mean, how many of you think of your aunts and your grandparents and people in your life that are over 60 as being great prospects for this business? And I'm so glad that I joined LifeVantage. And I have to say, not only the financial blessings, which have been beyond what I could not even imagine how blessed I am. And also that the Lord blessed me with a wonderful new husband, Jim, he calls, when people ask him about, his role in the business, he says he's the back office part of the business. So you get the idea. And he says, he keeps me out of jail by filing the taxes, he said. So, and also, I have to say, I think that I am a walking testament and a testimonial of the products, because I've been on all the products now for 14 years. I have no joint pain. I'm extremely active. I have my brain still works. That's the important part, right? And I'll tell you what, I even have a mind body story. Because remember, one thing I learned early on in the business was that facts tell, but stories sell. I was like wanting being a medical, professional, a nutritionist, a master's nutritionist level nutritionist, a dietitian, a certified diabetes educator. I had all that medical science background, and I'm a science geek. Like Sean said, I love to dig into the science and the research on things. And so that was my mistake I made in the beginning. I started to get into talking about those antioxidant enzymes. And did you know about glutathione? Did you know it does this? And, so that was kind of in the beginning, kind of slowed me down instead of just telling the stories. And telling stories is really what's going to capture people's attention. What is it what can it do for me? They want to know if it works. Is it working for you? And my mind body story is just this is just a little example. I've been taking half doses of the mind body products. I don't really not looking at losing weight. I'm looking at losing fat because as we age, and you all know this, is that you gain fat and you lose muscle. And the weight on your scale doesn't change. And I just posted a story on my Facebook page about that and how with the mind body products, I have gained some muscle mass. I was losing, my muscle mass was going down. It was scary. But with the mind body products and just some increased physical training, have kind of reversed that. So I would say for all of you here, you have such great leadership with Marisa, with Patty, there's all of us up here in your upline, that we're your support system. We're available to you to answer your questions, to get, and don't feel like you're going to be bugging us with questions, because that's what we're here for, is to help you on this journey. And I guess my one thing that I would want to say too is that, to be consistent and be persistent. And you're going to have there are going to be some struggles, and there are going to be some times when you may even want to quit. I mean, where, you hit a wall or you think it's not working. But persistence is a really key with this business. And that you just keep your eyes set on your goal, your vision, your future. And that will really help you through those kind of struggles and those times. And then when you're in those struggles, that's when you want to call, your upline and get that support going again for you. So I'm so happy to have met all of you. And again, Sharon, I just know, I just see you as being the next executive consultant here, along with your team and growing team. So congratulations, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Joanne. Thank you so much. She's wonderful on so many levels. So, and been to this house doing presentations as well. Thank you, Joanne.
You're welcome.
I want to go to Patty Connor. Patty is in Florida right now. Used to live in Minnesota and living in Florida now and enjoying her life. Just had shoulder replacement. Big golfer, big fun girl, loves it. I mean, I say that you're big and fun in love and life. And I say that because you are always about traveling big, loving big, giving big. And she is actually my sister-in-law. Mia's and my sister-in-law's sister-in-law. And didn't really know Patty before LifeVantage. I mean, I'd met her one time at a wedding and that was it. So it was really, she's sharp, she's business savvy, she's a numbers gal, and she just gave Sharon amazing tickets to a concert in Las Vegas last night. Like, who was it that you guys saw? They were like $500 a piece tickets. Crazy.
I can speak for Sharon. She went and saw Kenny Chesney at the Sphere because she didn't really know who he was. Country music.
And they had a great time. But anyway, Patty, take it away.
Oh, thank you, Marisa. Sharon, congratulations. That's absolutely incredible going to Grow Summit. And it's so awesome to meet your team, Jennifer, Mickey, Rosa, who I've met in person, and Angie. You can I've been in this business since 2011, and I'll be brief because I know it's a holiday and people have things to do. But when I've been in the business for almost 14 years this July, and when I meet people, you can just really tell. And sometimes you're wrong, but usually you can tell if they're the real deal. And the passion. Sharon's heart is so pure and so driven. I mean, what she said in the beginning about how people are getting sicker, it's just crazy. It's just crazy, and people are taking medications for side effects. And Sharon, I saw that commercial that you're talking about the other day because since I did have a shoulder replacement 11 days ago, 10 days ago, and I've taken 0 narcotics, doing Nerf 2 in the morning, in the afternoon. I'm watching a lot more TV than I normally do. And I said to my husband, they were reading the side effects and they said death. And I'm like, death. I mean, come on. I mean, that's not normal. So I don't remember the drug either. But anyway, you and your team your hearts are so driven and passionate and pure and wanting to help people. And the other day I posted the Kelly Girardi keynote speaker talk on my Facebook page because she was saying on there, we at LifeVantage here, we have the ability to change the quality of life on earth and for people. It's a big mission, but we can do it and we can do it together. And I'm really excited that I didn't know about this call when I woke up today. And with having shoulder surgery, most days I do not bother to try and put a bra on, but I'm really excited I put one on for today so that I could have my camera on this Zoom. And you know what, Sharon, that I'm so glad that you enjoyed Kenny Chesney. I'm so glad that I could gift you those tickets since I couldn't be there in person. And the video that you sent me and that Marisa sent me today was break free, like Star Trek, like how symbolic that we are going to help people break free from ill health, from chronic pain, and break free ourselves to have options. Life is expensive. I do love to travel. It's not inexpensive. So we have this this opportunity, these products will and are changing the world. And I'm so glad that you're all a part of it. It was great to meet your new team, Sharon. I'll be out there in mid-July to see Kelly Clarkson. So we'll connect. And I am around a lot
LifeVantage
more.
meeting, big watch party on the 12th. That is the convention, the virtual.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, baby. I don't get there till the 17th, but we could do it Zoom. But anyway, anybody that needs help with anything, let me know. I'm watching an enormous amount of HGTV lately. I have a feeling it's going to get really expensive when I tear down my little rustic cabin in Minnesota. But I'm around, and here's your mission. Like, and I mean to follow Sean and Pam and Joanne. I mean, they're just legends. We're so blessed to be on this team.
And I just want to say something too, Patty. You owned insurance company, so you get that residual
Leveraged income,
income,
yeah.
leveraged income. I'm not supposed to say residual, but you get that income that works for you while you sleep. And then you didn't really need, I mean, you were doing very well financially, but you saw this and you were able to get off meds for some itis issues. And I just think of at times when you've stepped away, when you've had to step away from the business, it kept growing for you. So can you just touch on that point, please?
Yeah,
This is why
that's
we
really,
drink the well before we're thirsty, right?
yeah, that's really, really incredible. In 2000, well, let's see, when did I don't know, we had a little downturn in the market or whatever, and then I've needed to step away. And, Marisa is one of the most incredible leaders in LifeVantage, and her, along with the other people that have spoken today, are just mind blowing. But I stepped away to deal with some personal family issues, and my business kept growing, even though I was literally doing almost nothing, maybe listening to some calls, but I mean, I wasn't sharing. And and like what Sean explained, when he got sick and hasn't been able to work a lot this year, you can't even put a value on how life-changing that is to not end up broke, losing your home, getting kicked out of our apartment, to have this income stream that you build up that continues to come in. And so our mission is to invite people to learn and not be attached to what they decide to do with the information. Marry the process, divorce the results. I share organically a lot. I got a facial the other day before my surgery, and the gal was telling me that her dad has Parkinson's. And so, I said, I know about something that I think might really make a difference. Would you be open to getting some information? I always use the word open because most people don't like to consider themselves closed-minded. She gave me her cell phone number. I'm a huge fan of the Chat GPT, the Elizabeth Bear training, and I'm using that, and the information that I can pull together on Parkinson's, on Alzheimer's. I mean, I live in Southwest Florida. There's a lot of old people down here. And how old am I? I'm 68. I don't really think I look it. More importantly, I don't act it. But yeah, I sent her some information, and she got married on Saturday, which happens to be my 45th wedding anniversary, when I was going to be at Kenny Chesney. But Sharon got to go, which is even better, to celebrate Growth Summit. So anyway, this business model, they don't teach in college, and it is the most incredible thing in the world. It is win, 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 win. It's not like if someone becomes a customer that we're selling them an inferior product. We're changing the quality of their life. They're winning with health. We're winning with creating a leveraged income, building a business, and it's incredible. But reach out to me. My number is 612-250-9862. Sharon has it. Obviously, Marisa has it. I'm happy to jump on calls with any of you to brainstorm. If you have a prospect, I used to have rheumatoid arthritis. I used to be on Humira, methotrexate, and prednisone for flare-ups. Our products don't cure, treat, or mitigate, but I'm on 0 prescriptions. I've had 3 surgeries in the last year: a knee replacement, a rotator repair, and then a shoulder replacement. 0 narcotics on any of them. They told me 5 months to golf after my last shoulder surgery. I was golfing in 3 months and 3 weeks and winning tournaments again. So I love you all. Welcome.
Thank you, Patty. So good. And then
Patty,
last,
where do you live? I'm in Florida right now. I just took my daughter to Orlando for her yearly Disney trip, and I'm just curious, where are you?
congratulations,
I'm
Rosa.
yeah, that's awesome. I am down in Southwest Florida, like near Fort Myers.
Okay.
I think it's about 4 hours from Orlando.
Well, hello from Florida.
Hi, Rosa. I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.
Congratulations again, Sharon. So impressed with your passion, your heart, your team. You guys are going places,
Yep.
and I'm almost never wrong.
Yeah, thanks, Patty. Thanks, Patty. I
Thank you,
wanted to
Patty.
introduce Mia and Dawn. Mia is my sister, and Dawn, of course, is her husband. And then there's Aria, their little baby doggy. So, Mia, just real quickly, Mia and Dawn, thank you. And Mia, your hair looks beautiful. Wow.
You. Well, I'll tell you, most of what has already been said,
She's in Massachusetts, by the way. So if you know
hi,
people in Massachusetts.
Rosa, honey, congratulations. So thrilled for you and your team. Honestly, this is so exciting. And, when we were on the Pose Performance Club Zoom, I guess it was this month, with Dr. Rewire early this month. Anyway, he said most of the things we've been taught about health are not accurate, and that we have a world today that's sicker than it's ever been. So we know we have solutions for people on that front. And that is very exciting because, we've all dealt with somebody in our world that we've lost, and it's heartbreaking, like Joanne shared and about her first husband. And we've lost our brother last year, and you just want to help the world be better, be healthier. And as we get older, there's so many things that are not in our favor. And so we have something that nobody else has. So that in itself is a huge reason to want to share this and have that kind of impact. One person, big difference. But the financial piece of it is also very huge. And Marisa shared this with me over 12 years ago. And I joined the business, but I didn't do anything with it for a while. And that was because my background is in the Broadway and opera genres, and I didn't see myself doing this. I thought, gosh, I'm not a health expert. How am I going to share something like this? I'm not a salesperson. I didn't get the vision. And those events that we go to are what gives us that vision, and the community that we are a part of, which is so heart driven. I mean, LifeVantage is my family, truly. And, the people in this company, they feed my soul. So, yes, that aspect of things, but the financial part of it is also huge. And we're not where we want to be yet at all in this business. We want to reach the executive level this year. So, we've got work to do on that, right? But I want to find those people that you're finding like this, the Jennifer, the Mickey, the Angie, I want to find those people too. And I know Dawn does too. Yesterday we took a day trip to Manhattan and saw the most legendary performance I have ever witnessed on stage. I want to change people's lives like that gal, Audra McDonald, who was playing Mama Rose in Gypsy. That was my belated birthday gift. And Don and I just spent the day, drove there and back in one day. It was so worth it. But that's the kind of thing that we have to share with other people. And if we can just share those stories that sell, and don't try to be the expert that knows everything, but really share genuinely from our heart, because we have a gift to share that's going to help people alleviate the stress in their lives financially. Because if you've got that, it's going to also impact your health. And so, I don't need to say much more. I'm going to let Dawn share whatever, but we're here to help you. We're so excited for you. And I know that, Growth Summit is just going to be the greatest experience ever. So congratulations.
Well, thanks, Mia and everybody. I'll do the little caboose on this Zoom here and try to clear the crossing as quickly as possible, because I know we're close to our time, or we're past our time, really. But there's been such incredible stuff shared, and congratulations to all of you for just being part of this mission. The one very quick thing I will say, we always hear that your why should make you cry. And I could get emotional right now about my why did make me cry. But crying can be like the why that makes you cry can also be like that first love that's so Twitter pating, if you will. And is that love going to stick? So this doesn't rhyme, but I say your why should make you stick. I wish there was a word for stick that rhymed with why, but there can, as I think Joanne alluded to, there can be things that come up in life that make it hard. And I'm going to be real and say that it's been hard for me in recent times to do what I would like to do. But because of the why that started me back in the summer of 2018, I know that even if I'm going through a rough patch, I will never leave this mission. Somehow, some way, I will be there. I will always be sharing it. You can't unknow it. You can't unsee it. It is there. It is there permanently if your why makes you stick. And so that's the very most important thing to look for, that why that makes you stick. So that's what I have to share. So.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you. Your why, and it does. And your why will evolve over the years and it'll change. And you have to be aware to keep developing the why. And that's why the personal growth and development aspect, which I hadn't expected in LifeVantage, it's like why I love LifeVantage. So anyway, we've all been sharing. I love it. Anyone else like Mickey or Jennifer or Rosa, you want to share anything more about just your feelings, what you've been doing, questions?
I actually have a lot of questions, and thank you, Marissa and Sharon, to always being okay with me texting, because for them, I do text a lot, and thank you.
We love it. Please keep on.
I was actually on a call with a client of mine who is in Congo, so DRC Congo, right? This is Africa, and the country has been, ever since, forever. I was born there. I know it. They've always been very unstable, and
Yes.
so it makes it very difficult to find a way to actually to ship product into Congo. So my cousin who is in Congo, who's interested in the products, their business, they get their things from either China or Thailand, and so she's like, I have the Thailand apartment. You can ship it in a Thailand apartment, and then you'll it'll get to me. And but I was looking, and there isn't. I don't think there's someone in Thailand. Is there someone? Like, do we ship in Thailand?
Yep. Yeah, Thailand's open. Yes. Yep. We can help get
Thailand's
you that info.
Okay, because I was looking at changing the flag to have
Yes.
the Thailand.
We're in
being-
Thailand and then we just Zoomed with someone in Japan with Mickey and Sharon the other day. So she lives on an army base, so she's American, but lives in Japan. So she's excited for her
So,
people too.
so could we expand on helping Mickey because we'd like to break through to Congo? Because Mickey has so many people there that could benefit from this. How, senior advisors, what is
Yes.
the method to do this? So can anybody expand on that for us?
I'll let Sean talk about that. I feel like I know enough, but I'd like to hear more from you.
Are you talking about opening up Congo for people to be able to have it directly shipped to them?
Yes,
What?
that will be the goal, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Typically, I would say over the last 2 to 3 years, they've kind of pulled back on the international expansion. But what they are allowing us to do is if there's specific countries that we know we have leaders there that can take advantage of it and get it up and running. They allow it to go through one of the presidentials to kind of put a stamp on it that, yes, we've got the people lined up. There is a basic monthly amount that would need to be ordered and shipped out there. They would do it by the pallet. So it's quite a bit of product, but it is possible. And kind of how that would work, if there's the right people there, they would set up where you have like a 2 to 3 year period of time where you kind of have exclusive rights to that area. And then as it grows the footprint and it makes sense for the corporate team to really start pouring into that market, then they would look at a transition to make it more consistent with all the other open countries. So we can definitely have conversations and jump on different Zooms if that's something that you guys want to explore. Um, but yeah, that's currently how they're doing it.
Okay, this is good to know. I'm going to give you like the example she was telling me because I asked her, I said, okay, so how do you do with your other medication? And
Mhm.
she said, everybody that she knows, they travel, they buy for like 6 months or however the prescription can allow them, and then they come back with
Yep.
their medications and like they buy their medication for friends, like, so they all go abroad and they buy in huge packages and bring it back to the country.
Yep.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
and we've seen very similar things even in Mexico, and then also in some of the other Southeast Asian countries, where that's more of how they build the businesses. But it's definitely a path that we can explore and see what makes the most sense. But if she can start getting on the products right away through Thailand, that I would say step one,
Okay.
so that she can, get the products, see what they are, start
Yes.
to create her story as well too.
And Sean, what about the My US? Should she just disregard the My US, that third-party shipping
If,
company?
if she has the ability to get it through Thailand, I know that the people that I've seen do the My Shipping, it can be a little bit expensive to go that route. But that is also an opportunity as well to anywhere in the world that corporate won't send it directly. It basically gives them a box, a PO box in Florida, and then that company, they ship it um, from that PO box to the person that wants it. There's a monthly fee with it.
Right,
I haven't
$7.
utilized it enough to tell you exactly what it is, and then I know that the shipping just varies on where it's going to and how long of a process that is.
Actually, I
But
think it's $10 a month now because I just got on the website, I just
okay,
got on looking at it. But you're
yeah, so
saying,
that's definitely an option too.
so I understand if she wants, if her family in the Congo wants to actually get the products, get them to Thailand first, that way,
Yep.
and
Yeah,
then
you can if you have the address in Thailand, you can immediately set that up without going through the third party.
And then and then you're saying that if there are people in the Congo that have network marketing experience, then connect them with Presidential, which would be you in our team, right? You or Pam. Okay.
Yeah, and one example of that, like Israel, we have some good friends up there that have been trying for years to get it open up there, and we had a conversation about 6 months ago um, with the corporate team on that, and it just again it comes down to does it make sense for the company to start exploring that market because there is a lot of time and resources that have to
Yeah.
be poured into it to make sure that they have the support necessary to thrive and you know, not uh, be able to sustain a growing business there.
Okay. Awesome. All right. I'm going to stop the recording. Hold on.